Hello guys, welcome here to a late episode of Out of Turn 4. I'm Brian here. Coming up on the show, we are going to recap IndyCar at Portland. We've got a champion announced. We're going to also recap NASCAR at Darlington. And then of course we'll have some headlines to discuss. So let's begin with NASCAR and Denny Hamlin, of course, taking the victory at Darlington in the Xfinity Series, likely to be his last race according to his podcast in the Xfinity Series. So, not really ashamed to see that. Obviously, you guys know how I feel about him. Overall, it looked like a good race. Looked like a fun one. So, but either way, congrats to Denny. Not much else to say about it. On the Cup side, of course, it was Kyle Larson that took the win. Denny had the fastest car all day, though. Unfortunately, a pit road issue kind of costed him the win. Sorry, it's really hot in here, guys, so forgive me for being, like this. But, Kyle Larson wins his first Southern 500. There was one incident in the race I do want to talk about, and it was the incident between Daniel Suarez and Alex Bowman. Of course, Bowman appeared to be blocking Daniel Suarez and ultimately turned himself across the front bumper of Suarez. And why are you doing that? Come on. You're racing for what? 9th, 10th, maybe 15th. I didn't watch much of the race at the beginning, but come on. But with that win, Kyle Larson advances into the next round of the playoffs, so great for him, great for his team, and now he doesn't have to worry about Kansas or Bristol the next 2 weeks. Anyway, moving on to IndyCar at Portland, and we have ourselves a champion before the race, or for the final race of the season. Alex Palou has locked up the championship with a win at Portland. Congratulations to him. Of course, it appears that both times I go to Mid-Ohio, he goes on to win championships. So maybe he needs me to go to Ohio from now on, so that way he can win some titles. Just, remarkable. He deserves it. Just wish someone would have competed with him. That's all I wish. But, congrats to Alex. Of course, there's one more race to decide things, and then we're on to a crazy off-season and silly season to come, and I say it's crazy, it's crazy. And we're going to actually get started with that on the NASCAR side. John Hunter Nemechek has been named the driver of the number 42 for Legacy Motor Club. No surprise there. He was absolutely going to be named the driver of that car. And of course, them switching to Toyota, that'll be a big gain for this team. And maybe it'll just be a couple years, and then he's back at Joe Gibbs Racing in 19 when Truex steps aside. That's a possibility. But let's see. John Hunter go back up the Cup. He's a proven Cup winner. He's a proven Cup driver. He proved it at front row the first time around. He's now proving it at Toyota in the Xfinity Series this time around. And hopefully this move to take a couple steps back to take a few forward pays off in his favor. The other news, Denny Hamlin has officially signed contract extension to remain at Joe Gibbs Racing for the next handful of years. And with that means 2311 will stay under the Toyota banner. Even bigger, news there. Toyota will now have, at the 500th Jimmy runs, possibly 3, 6, and 10 entries into the Daytona 500. But of course, they will have 8 full-time entries, which is a big leap for them. And they need it, honestly, especially at those draft-dependent tracks. We know they've lacked so much at those tracks. So good to see for now, and good to see Legacy Motor Club, expanding going to Toyota as well as 2311, staying with Toyota. Especially with Tyler Reddick and Bubba Wallace. This would have been a new learning curve with Ford, I believe they were talking to. Needless to say, good move. Man, I was hoping to do an IndyCar silly season special, but I think most of the dominoes have already fallen, so I just don't know how I'd be able to. And with that, let's talk some of the IndyCar moves. It would appear that Romain Grosjean is headed back to Dale Coyne Racing in 2024. Of course, he announced over the weekend he will not be back in Andretti Autosport, and it would appear that Andretti is going to downsize to 3 cars starting next season with Ericsson, Herta, and Kirkwood. So good move for Grosjean, I think. Dale Coyne, of course, they got a lot of work to do over there on their road course package, but their ovals have been good, so I think it'll be good for Grosjean to go there. Once again, then, of course, the other big domino has fallen. Felix Rosenqvist will be leaving Arrow McLaren to join Meyer-Shank Racing, which now means that, unfortunately, Simon Pagenaud, who has been out for injury the last handful of weeks, he will not be with the team effective next year. And, I sit here and question this all the time. How is Felix Rosenqvist still in IndyCar? The dude has not finished, he has not put together a complete race other than one time in his entire career, and he still keeps a ride. I just don't get it. He's a nice guy. I got no issues with him. I got no hate for him. It's more dumbfounded that, I'm just more dumbfounded than anything else. He's still in this sport. But either way, it'll be a Quist team at Meyer-Shank Racing, a Kvyst team, whatever you want to call it. Of course, they've got Tom Blomqvist, and now they got Felix Rosenqvist in the here. So good for them. I think it's a downgrade personally from Simon, but we'll see at the end of the day. Of course, I'm just reading here, and it looks like HMD Motorsports will be splitting from Dale Coyne Racing. Wonder what's going to happen with the 18 now, because that's sponsorship for the 18. It would appear, of course, the rumors have been again. There's rumors that Lucas is going to sign or has signed with Arrow McLaren to drive the number 6. So you got to wonder if HMD is going to jump on board there. But not a surprise, it looks like. Because HMD was aligned with David Malukas, so I guess it's not a surprise. And then the other big news is Andretti Global will now be Andretti Motorsport or Autosport will now be named Andretti Global, and this will be across all motorsports that they compete in. And I assume this is to line up the potential F1 team, the 11th F1 team. I just don't know if they're going to get to F1, and I can't say enough. Why would you want to go to F1? That's my stance on it. Why would you want to go to F1? But anyway, I digress from that. Again, we're trying to do a quick episode because I got to get to sleep soon, and we're already late on the season. But we'll be back Tuesday, of course. The reason we didn't have the Tuesday episode this week is Labor Day. I just had no time. So my apologies for that. But with that, let's make the picks for the upcoming weekend at Kansas. And I'm going to start by picking the Truck Series. I'm taking Zane Smith. He's going to win in advance in the number 38. On the Xfinity side, I don't believe there's any Cup guys. I'm going to take John Hunter in this one. Good Toyota track. And I feel John Hunter's going to benefit greatly from that. And, of course, the news of him going to Motor Club next year, no doubt, is fueling him going forward, probably into this Xfinity Championship now. Now that he knows where his future is at. So, I'm going to go John Hunter in the Xfinity. And I'm going to go Bob Wallace. I think he's going to go back-to-back Kansas. It was a toss-up between both 2311 Toyotas. Excuse me. It was a toss-up between the both of them. I think it's going to be Bob Wallace